My name is Chris Diamond. I'm the Vice President of Food and Beverage at the PNC Arena. I work for a company called VAB Catering. VAB Catering is actually an in-house operation, uh, an independent operation. We are the premier exclusive food and beverage company for the PNC Arena. Uh, we're an in-house operation, which is very unique in our profession. About 8% of the industry is what is in-house. Most of them are usually outsourced. Concessionaires such as Legends, Levy, Airmark, Centerplate. Those are the big brother companies. Delaware North Sports Service. We're a unique situation where we're in-house. You know, when the hurricanes came to the Carolinas back in 1997, the building was built. There was a talk about going outsourced, but they decided they wanted to keep everything in-house, keep it close to heart. You know, that's where our company came from. So what are the pros and cons of being an in-house operation? Big pro is you have a say in the day-to-day operations. You know, there is no red tape to go up the chain of how we do things, our pricing structure is done, what items we bring in. A lot of that is out of the way. You know, we control that. I answer directly to the general manager of the facility. That's the red tape. That's all there exists of it. You keep your profit margins more in line when you're in-house. You know, when you source out a food and beverage operation, there's typically a disclosed amount up front that you pay, but then there's also a percentage of your sales that's always disclosed up front. That number is always going to be the same. When you control it, you can control that number as well, but more close to heart. You can pick your vendors. You can pick your menu items. It makes it more exclusive to what you do. You listen to your fan base as well. You know, I have a lot of fans that interact with me about why don't you carry X beer or Y food items. We can make those judgments based on how we operate things in-house. My background, I've been with the arena since 2000. I waited till after the first year it was open, so they got the kinks worked out and smart enough to come in the second year. Ran the catering department for 7 years and then there was an opportunity. The food and beverage director had gone on to another position, and they offered me the position there. And ever since then, I've been with the organization, going on 18 years now. My background, got into this profession by accident. You know, I always joke when I talk to a lot of people about who wants to be in food and beverage. Usually, very few hands go up. You know, the way I look at it is, you know, I had a background, two sources, hotels and food and beverage. Think about that. Anywhere you go in the world, people got to eat, people got to sleep. So those are two professions to think about when you do that. I'm a true believer that your profession finds you, you don't find it. You know, so before I came here, I did work in corporate catering for 7 years, and I also worked in hotels for 7 years. I think the interesting thing you have to think about when you think about what we in food and beverage do is to actually build things backwards. You take the end result as you as a patron come into the building. You buy a hot dog and a beer. The story starts long before that when you look at how our business model is set up. You have to take the hot dog as an example. Where does this whole process start? Well, obviously it starts in a factory with the manufacturer. But when you purchase a hot dog, who are you purchasing it from? The reputable manufacturer. Then it goes through the hands of a food provider. With us, it's US Foods. We have to make sure they're a reputable broker for the food in order to purchase that item. And you look at how it's handled from A to Z. You look at from how it's handled from the manufacturing plant to the time it hits the US Foods warehouse, how it's handled from that point to our warehouse. How is the driver handling it? How is the commissary person who's receiving it handling it? How is it being handled from the commissary to the point of the kitchens? Then it takes on a different aspect. How is the cook handling the product? Is he holding it to the health codes that are required to properly hold a product? Are you holding it for the proper amount of time? Are you selling it in the required rules and regulations of how it's to be sold? To the end result, you have now bought that hot dog. You as the patron, how was that hot dog? Was it good enough where you'd buy another one? That's a simple analysis, but then you take our beverages the same way. You look at when we buy beer, who do we buy from? What's popular? How is it handled? How is it served? All those things factor in. How does it get into the beer coolers? How is it circulated throughout the buildings? A lot of people don't realize we have beer lines that go up above, below you and above you. Some of them up to 400 feet from where the keg actually is. How is it handled from A to Z? Those are a lot of the factors that go into what we do before the event actually starts.